Hi, if you like this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps this channel and spread the message to help others. Thank you so much. Hi, this is Bren Ritsuno. Today I wanted to talk about a little bit sensitive um, and then more nuanced topic today, which is a lot of things happening in our life is not our fault. And then this is a little bit controversial because we tend to say that we need to take full responsibility for all our actions, or everything happening to us is all up to us, right? But then here we have to be very careful that spirit of this is important. But we need to be honest and then truthful that our past affects us, right? And then whatever happened in our past, a lot of other people are involved, especially when we were younger, like a childhood and all that. Those influences are enormous. And then if these are the one causing some of the issues, then a lot of things are not our fault. And let me just give you an example here. For instance, my mother was extremely religious, fanatical almost. So I was being taught to believe in Bible literally, right? All these miracles and like historical, the the age of the earth or things of the nature. And even when I study science or like logical thinking, the conclusion is are if the conclusions were different than the facts in the Bible, then I have to assume that I have to believe that my conclusion or scientific facts were wrong. And this way of being taught had a tremendous negative effect in intellectual development. It actually makes children almost insane. Just imagine like if you're growing up, right? Like tree growing up, like going taller and bigger. This is your ability and your talent, right? Like having this irrationality is like a rope around it, or bags around it, like a really tight rope. You get bounded. No matter how much you grow, you're gonna either deformed, right? I'm talking about the ability and all that, right? Like a talent. Deformed or you're stunted. And in my case, of course, like I thought something is kind of strange, right? Like let's say if you study mathematics in a conclusion, or if you have some kind of rational argument and you come up in the right type of ideas. But for me, anything that having this kind of independent thoughts were labeled or condemned as those opinions of devils, or you or my mom was always like, oh, you're reading like devil's literature. It's just a regular science book, or that type of things. And then when I study, uh, 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 when something. Since everything being taught was a lie, right? Like the science books and everything. So what my mom was encouraged us to do, or me to do, is to just memorize, as to just get the score on the test book, and then just dismiss as nonsense. So I really didn't dig into deeper of any of the subject, and it has a really a tremendous, yeah, tremendous pressure on the upbringing, like psychologically. It's a repression and oppression at the same time. This type of environment, what when I after even if I graduate from high school and went to college and separated from parents in a distant wise, the the habit of your thought process is still there. Your ignorance was still there. A lot of things carries along. Your behavior obviously does not quite work in the real world, right? Thought processes, because it's so far away from the reality. I mean, somehow I managed it, like it's not all BS, right? I mean, a lot of things are useful in things of nature, but to for the simple things, it's okay. But then when it comes to the complicated things like a project or anything, it's just I have no idea how to do this, because my mind was not sophisticated enough to think such a strategy, because every everything since when I was a child, at the end of the day, the truth is what you believe in, right? So it's all black and white. Whatever happened, it's God's will, so it's great. It just doesn't quite have that sense of complexity there. So even if you stumbled, I don't have any mean to reflect, right? Because this is already great. It's according to God's will that I failed. So what am I going to learn from it? Nothing. I mean, in a sense. So is this my fault, right? If I look back, could I have done better? I wouldn't have been done better. Tell the truth. I tried my best. It's not possible as a child if there is some parent or somebody that who has their life in their hands, is guiding you to the certain way, and then if you're living your life according to those principles, in a sense, their principles, and the life just doesn't go quite well, that's not your fault. But then here's this nuance part. That doesn't mean that let's say my mom is to be blamed just because of this. She believed that what she did was right. Okay, absolutely right. So it's almost like you don't know right and wrong. So she's not guilty. And probably that's how she was raised and then born, right? So you can kind of go back in the history, her family background, whatever. And then you can keep going this almost the exercise that the when was the real problem happened. But this is an exercise in that has probably bear little fruit. It doesn't really do much. As long as you understand this type of things, what could be generational, okay, as a fact, so you can actually avoid it next time. Like if I have a family, I don't have to repeat it, right? So it's not to blame somebody, but then you reflect on what's your past and then what you can do better. So or change your life in a dramatical way to make it radically like 180 switch. So first, like a difficulty is first like how to self-aware. Just imagine like your life is not optimal. Let's just assume, because if you think your life is optimal, you're doing everything great, then there's no really progress. So let's say your is not optimal, and there's something you could have done better. Now just imagine like any look at your like mirror, analyze it carefully. Let's say do you have an impulsivity problem, substance problems? Do you have trust issues, and things of the nature? Okay, and then that actually have an issue with other people that you are having a hard time progress in life. Then having the success that you want to have, but then you can't. Then it's time to really here think, really believe that your life, probably your upbringing or something like that, is not normal. What I mean by not normal is it's not healthy. It was not healthy. And this is critical to recognize, self-aware, because if you believe that that's normal, then that should be okay, then you'll repeat the same procedure. And then if you talk to the same people, they'll just say that's right, because they haven't learned their lesson. So it is how to really self-aware is to what I recommend is to read a great literatures or books, and that have a good accomplishment that of somebody, and check their value systems, how they behaved, and see how close yours. Of course, everybody has a different temperament and stuff, but then the people who do well in life has that the common principles, common traits, right? See if you are something is quite missing there. Okay, and if you have a hard time like reading books and things, then what's necessary really is to just to keep in mind that I would say be humble. What I mean is like not a false humility, like oh it's like I don't even believe that I'm you know it, that I'm humble, but I'm trying to be pretend to be humble. That's not the case. What I'm trying to say is I want you to assume that whatever you believed in, right? Like something that you believe that this is absolutely right, could be wrong. That possibility I want you to be in, and then see if we can investigate and then make sure that this is right. And oftentimes it's surprising. Oftentimes 5-10 years what you've been believing in might be quite wrong. How to verify is to really to do it surgically, means it's like carefully. You don't have to switch it right away, but investigate, tone it down, change here and there, and then see if there is an improvement in your life. If it's improving in your life, then replace it with something better. So also another very useful way to be self-aware is to observe your friends or family members or somebody close by. They generally exhibit the similar type of behavior or thought patterns. Just listen to what they say or how they view the world. And then since you're listening to these people objectively, you'll probably be able to know what's wrong. And then you might think you're not doing any of those, but then likely there is some sort of influence that that has been on you, and then maybe there is something that you might be able to adjust to make it better. Especially if you're close to somebody, just or you talk regularly, just be observant. See if this person is saying or doing the right thing. And it's critical that what I'm trying to say is not to blame yourself all the time. It's not conductive. If you blame, taking responsibility and blaming yourself is different. Okay, blaming yourself is to almost like, oh, poor me, right? And oh, like there's not much I can do. Okay, that's not anything conductive in life. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's life is perfect. Most, right? Everybody has their own struggle. Some are lucky when they grew, when the environment that they grew up in, but then that's just a draw of the luck. If you look below, there's people who are worse than you all the time. But then we get encouraged by these people who has no limbs when they grew up, or when they're child, they can only live for few months. I mean, life is like this. Now you listen to the podcast and be able to think. Then that's a great progress. So yeah, just don't blame yourself, because it's not even factual. You don't have to blame all yourself, right? I mean, a lot of things are out of your control, and it was done by your environment and your surroundings. So make sure that, but then now that reflect those and correct what you can correct by learning from the mistakes that other people made or you made. Okay. And it's very difficult. You might fix this type of things by yourself, because this is an enormous task. Re-engineering yourself is one of the hardest things you can do, because yourself is, you feel the pain the most, right? You're the direct being. So everything that confronting your flaws, mistakes, and admitting the mistakes, pain associated with it, and the fear associated with it. You go into unknown. So I recommend surround yourself. Okay, find people and read something that is better than you, always. Somebody that who has been doing better than you. Okay, you never go to somebody who fail as worse than you, right? I mean, we get. People who are doing well is always forward looking. So you go up. You do better. But the people who are going down, I mean, they have to figure it out at that point. I mean, you might give them advice, something, but they do not involve in 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 time wasted manner. People takes like years and years to change. Okay, you don't have that years and years. It's better for you to progress and then spread whatever the what you learn, the better. After the fact, after you become successful, after as you go through, you spread your goodness. That is better. So yeah, surround yourself with people who are better than you. And a lot of times, like you might not. On the other hand, you might be keenly aware of somebody else's like a real somebody else's really did harm to you. Okay, and this is a serious crime, right? But then just imagine like this: like if you go to the mountain or hiking, let's say you stumble on 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 a rock, or that the tree branch hit your head, right? It hurts a lot, and then you might bleed, but you might bleed, but you're not gonna be upset about or vengeful towards the stones and the branch, right? Because that's part of their part of nature. Those are. So just like that, humans are part of nature. Just think about it. We are part of nature. So whatever happened to you, whatever happened to us, at the end of the day, you don't. I mean, ultimate forgiveness is to just think all these what happened to it as just like nature intended. We have no idea why it happened this way. But this type of like almost stoic idea is critical so that we don't wallow into a vengefulness or that type of nagging feeling that always puts you down to unconstructive behavior. And this type of things takes time. Okay, so just break it down to the steps. You know, you don't have to figure the whole thing out today. It might take years, right? I mean, it's not easy. I mean, because you feel already normal. Everything is normal, and then whatever you feel like you know what's wrong, but then the fix those takes so much time, right? Like even just the nutrients, you know, like losing like a fat or like even in building muscle takes years. But then you got to start now and just do it slowly and intelligently. And then you might make mistakes. That's fine. Now you are aware. That's the biggest thing. It's like being aware of the problems first, recognize. Now is just the time to just tweak it and then figure it out. Now, a lot of times, like we have a trust issue, you know, because of all these problems, and then you might trust somebody, but then you may be trusting the wrong person because like you might actually seek somebody that hurt you before, but then that's the one you were trusting, right? Because you know, let's say your parents or whatever, but so you seek the similar type of behaviors. But then now it's critical that you trust somebody with verification, and then how you verify, right? Just like Reagan said, like trust but verify. But how you do it's to have the right type of values, and somebody make sure that their actions match with their word. Their they have integrity. They keep their word. They keep their word. Are they fair in their dealings? Are they not complaining of other people, right? I mean, have that type of people around, right? Are they positive? Are they honest? It's so important to find these people, and then finally you can trust these people. And then there are people like that. But the first thing, you have to be one. Then you can attract those as well. So healthy relationship is until you figure your past and then overcome it, overcome all these pathological behaviors and all that, and then notice that what's unhealthy or healthy, you might have a very difficult time to find the good relationship with others. Humans are very interesting, right? Because even if you know that then this behavior is really hurtful, but then you experience that when you're a childhood, that whoever did that hurtful behavior, just like your, let's say your parents or sibling did to you, you feel it feels like a home. Okay, but then resist that temptation. Your life doesn't have to be chaotic with somebody else. Okay, find the people that who cares, has this the value standard. Okay, as long as you find these, verify, right, then you can find the healthy relationship. Doesn't have to repeat the same type of relationship, but and then you don't have to go like extreme. Now you're doing something like equally strange, but not them. Don't do this type of. You just be careful about. You might swing back and forth to the one extreme to the other. So yeah, that's why it's very critical to you carefully aware of where you're from, and then and and avoid those to the characteristics to the people that you wanna hang out with. So this kind of journey is it's a possibly quite isolating experience, just because like not a lot of people do it, and maybe some people, if you even say it, it's like, oh, why you look back, and it's no point. So maybe, so you just have to keep it to yourself in a sense, or just share that with the people that you trust or close by, who really cheer you on for the constructive path. Yeah, but this is once you find a great relationship, and then you don't have to be just one person. I mean, putting one person to have the everything is in one person, it's just impossible, and then it's just too much. That's why you need friends, like multiple people. Okay, so making sure that have these relationship, so that you don't feel isolated, because this is not something that you can actually overcome on your own, right? That's why I read books. It's important, and etc. as well, because those books are somebody. Actually, it's a people. People wrote it for you. So as we go through this is, as I said, this is a painful process. But then, not to repeat the same mistake, it is important that you do so. And then when you do so, always look forward. Because by looking back and always looking back and then, oh, what could I have done? That's not the point. It's like, what can I fix this part? That you read books or talk to somebody or experience something better so that your life is always moving forward. It's just a reference. Okay, it's not the point that you imagine it over and over again and complain about it. And nothing's going to change by this methodology and wasting time. Right, wallow in the misery. Don't do it. Just keep moving forward, but in an intelligent way. So, lastly, I wanted to say is like the more difficult path that you came from, the reward's gonna be bigger. I'm not saying like you're gonna be like the material way, like money or anything, but the the as a human being, the respect you gain from other people, especially people who understand this type of journey, if you can overcome these difficulty, whatever you have, the bigger it is, it is very commendable, more commendable than the people who came from an easier life. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit bell button to be notified a new video. See you next time.